A huge dark gap appeared in the Atlantic Ocean on satellite images and disappeared just as fast, leaving everyone with questions. Discussions heated up after undercover footage revealed giant waves, towering at 83 feet, smashing into the coast at full speed and vanishing without leaving a trace, reminding people of the silent deeps of the Bermuda Triangle. Despite experts studying this strange event and suggesting theories about rare atmospheric conditions and unusual waves, no solid explanations have come up yet. Could this be a warning of something horrifying moving through the ocean? Join us in uncovering the truth that is filled with too many unanswered questions. The Atlantic's phantom waves. Researchers at the South African Weather Service quickly assembled to study this strange event, analyzing satellite data and atmospheric measurements taken during the occurrence. Initial ideas suggested that a quick drop in air pressure might have caused these waves, but there was no strong evidence to back up this theory. This event unfolded under clear skies, which intensified the mystery, given that such wave formations are usually linked with stormy conditions. Local meteorologist Dr. Helena Besson proposed that this could be a rare instance of a rogue wave, potentially intensified by atmospheric oddities. Subsequent investigations showed that there were no recorded seismic activities or ocean disturbances in the vicinity that might explain the sudden appearance of such high waves. The attention then turned to the possibility that a significant displacement of air above the ocean had created a vacuum effect, capable of lifting water upwards in a vertical shape, a scenario supported by Dr. Richard Kumalo from the University of Cape Town's Oceanography Department. This hypothesis was slightly supported by reports from nearby ships that felt sudden, strange tidal forces at the same time, although these were not as intense as would be expected with 83-foot waves. Moreover, Captain John Malherbe of the freighter SS Mendi observed a rapid change in atmospheric pressure that coincided with the wave events, as recorded by the ship's instruments. At the same time, environmental scientists pondered the impact of climate change in increasing the frequency and severity of such mysterious natural events. Dr. Emily Serrata, a climatologist at the Cape Town Environmental Observatory, highlighted the role of rising ocean temperatures in contributing to more unpredictable weather patterns. While the global scientific community kept debating, new satellite images examined by experts at the European Space Agency showed slight traces of similar patterns in other parts of the world, mainly over deep waters. However, these patterns had never been seen with such clarity or magnitude as those near Cape Town before. Elsewhere, conspiracy theories thrived on social media, with people suggesting everything from secret military experiments to alien involvement, reflecting the public's unease and fascination with the unexplained event. Despite thorough research, a clear explanation still wasn't found. The South African National Space Agency has started a more detailed ongoing investigation, sending out more monitoring satellites to capture better data if such an event happens again. Local officials warn the public and maritime operators to stay alert. In the South African Department of Environmental Affairs, put out temporary safety rules for ships sailing off the coast of Cape Town. These rules called for increased monitoring and immediate reporting of any unusual wave activity. The peculiarity was initially detected by the meteorological platform Ventus, which observed a strange atmospheric pattern resembling a giant wave moving toward the shore, then disappearing just before a catastrophic landfall could happen. This event quickly caught the interest of many, becoming a popular subject on Reddit. The online community was abuzz with theories and a mix of scientific and fantastical guesses, showing the strong pull of unexplained natural phenomena on human curiosity. Further examination by the South African National Space Agency suggested that the anomaly occurred during a minor geomagnetic storm, which could have distorted the satellite signals, thereby complicating the initial interpretations of the event. Dr. Adrian Shabalala, an atmospheric scientist at the South African National Space Agency, pointed out that these geomagnetic disturbances are known to disrupt Earth's magnetosphere, temporarily affecting satellite data. Simultaneously, the National Oceanography Center in Southampton expressed its interest in the event, planning to work with the South African National Space Agency to study the oceanic and atmospheric conditions that could spontaneously generate such massive wave formations. Dr. Naomi Vermeulen, a prominent oceanographer with the center, speculated that a sudden release of methane hydrates from the ocean floor might have triggered the event, a situation that could theoretically cause large disturbances in water columns. Dr. Peter Johnson, a marine biologist at the University of Cape Town, voiced concerns over the potential impacts of such events on marine life, stressing the importance of conducting environmental impact studies. These large waves' quick formation and dissolving could produce significant underwater currents and pressure variations, potentially harming or disorienting sea life. Experts from the European Marine Science Coordination Committee suggested that the combination of atmospheric pressure anomalies and sudden changes in ocean temperature might also play a role in creating these waves. Dr. Helen Crofts, a committee member, mentioned that future incidents could be predicted by closely monitoring these environmental elements. As the investigation deepened, the World Meteorological Organization offered to support satellite imagery and data analysis. They emphasized the significance of sharing data globally to fully understand such complex meteorological events. In response to public concern, the Cape Town City Council organized informational sessions to educate residents about the natural phenomenon, aiming to reduce fears and promote preparedness for future events. Experts in meteorology, oceanography, and disaster management conducted these sessions. Furthermore, the Incident Meteorological Coordination Center under the World Meteorological Organization began developing a new alert system specifically designed to warn against sudden atmospheric anomalies. This system intends to employ AI algorithms to analyze satellite data in real time, potentially offering early warnings to regions that could be impacted. Because of these developments, the international scientific community has been energized by the chance to discover a new meteorological or oceanographic process. Dr. Emily Tan, Director of Global Weather Dynamics at the Massachusetts Institute of Technology, remarked that the Cape Town event might transform our understanding of the interaction between oceanic and atmospheric systems. Additionally, Ventus's technical experts are enhancing their software to better handle and interpret the data spikes caused by such anomalies. They hope that these upgrades will decrease the instances of false alarms and improve the accuracy of real-time weather monitoring. The narrative became even more complex with additional footage allegedly tracing the origin of the anomaly back to the cold expanse near Antarctica. It seemed to travel thousands of miles across the ocean rapidly, only to disappear as it neared the African continent. This sequence of events led some to theorize about unseen geological forces at play beneath the ocean's surface, possibly involving volcanic activity or seismic disturbances that could create such anomalies. Meanwhile, other spectators proposed more extravagant explanations, including the interference of unidentified flying objects or experimental military technology, citing the abrupt way in which the waves formed and disappeared as potential evidence of external manipulation. These theories, while speculative, added layers of interest to the unfolding drama in the skies above Cape Town. To guarantee the accuracy of the data, satellites equipped with precision instruments thoroughly cross-checked the readings, minimizing the chance of mistakes. However, the possibility of a software glitch or bug remained a viable concern, adding a technical challenge to the already complicated investigation. This issue led the South African National Space Agency to conduct a detailed review of all software systems involved in the data collection process. South African National Space Agency's engineering team, led by Dr. Johan du Plessis, undertook a comprehensive audit of their satellite technology to eliminate the possibility of technical errors. They checked the coding for mistakes, recalibrated sensors, and reassessed their data integration processes to ensure that future readings would be as accurate as possible. Dr. du Plessis explained that even the smallest error in data processing can lead to significant misunderstandings in complex atmospheric phenomena. The experts delved into the climatic peculiarities revealed by this event. They made guesses about the dynamics and unstable atmospheric conditions that could spawn such anomalies. The Ventus platform and other scientific communities called for a deeper exploration into the causes of these phenomena, hoping to uncover whether this was a freak act of nature or a harbinger of more bizarre weather patterns to come. dive deeper into the investigations and theories that try to unravel the mysterious oceanic and atmospheric anomalies observed in Cape Town. Cape Town's Night of Ghostly Waves. This peculiar event unfolded under perfectly clear skies, an aspect that deepened the mystery, for such massive wave formations are typically expected during stormy weather. Dr. Helena Basson, a well-known local meteorologist, pondered whether this could be a rare instance of a rogue wave, potentially heightened by some form of atmospheric anomalies. Upon closer examination, it became evident that there were no seismic activities or marine disturbances recorded that could straightforwardly explain the sudden appearance of these high waves. The conversation then turned to the possibility of a significant air displacement above the ocean, which might have created a vacuum effect that drew the water upwards in a towering surge, as postulated by Dr. Richard Kumalo from the University of Cape Town's Oceanography Department. This theory drew some attention after several ships in the vicinity reported encountering unusual tidal surges around the same time. However, these surges were not nearly as intense as would be expected with 83-foot waves. Additionally, Captain John Mulherb of the freighter SS Mendy noted a rapid change in atmospheric pressure that occurred simultaneously with the wave events, as recorded by the ship's sophisticated instruments. These observations hinted at an unusual interaction between the ocean and the atmosphere, one that standard oceanographic or meteorological models could not fully explain. Local maritime officials documented similar anomalies, with various vessels reporting erratic water movements and sudden abnormal swells that disrupted their navigation but didn't align with the disastrous potential suggested by the initial heights of the waves. These discrepancies prompted further questions about the underlying dynamics, hinting at a complex interplay of factors that extended beyond simple hydrodynamics. With more than 20 years of expertise, oceanographers like Dr. Linda Hammersmith speculated that localized variations in the seafloor's topography might have focused or scattered the energy of the waves, leading to the unusual patterns documented by the ships. Adding another layer to the mystery, environmental sensors on some ships detected minor but consistent changes in water temperature and salinity during the tidal surges. These variations were subtle yet suggested that some energetic exchange was happening below the sea surface, potentially involving deep ocean currents or the mysterious processes of water upwelling from the seafloor, which remain poorly understood. The South African Maritime Safety Authority initiated a thorough review of the ship logs and environmental data collected during these incidents to better understand the conditions that led to such bizarre maritime behavior. This review aimed to synchronize the timing of the documented pressure changes and tidal surges with satellite imagery of the area to pinpoint any potential atmospheric or oceanographic phenomena that could have triggered these disturbances. Experts from the Global Oceanic Environmental Survey speculated that the sudden drops in atmospheric pressure recorded by Captain John Mulherb could indicate the presence of a microburst, a potent, localized column of sinking air within a thunderstorm that can lead to violent wind shifts and dramatic changes in ocean surface conditions. Although typically linked with severe weather events, a microburst could theoretically occur under clear sky conditions if there was sufficient atmospheric instability. Simultaneously, environmental scientists considered the broader implications, such as the role of climate change in increasing the frequency and intensity of such unexplained natural events. Dr. Emily Sirota, a climatologist at the Cape Town Environmental Observatory, emphasized that rising ocean temperatures might be contributing to more unpredictable weather patterns. As this global conversation grew, new satellite imagery processed by the European Space Agency revealed faint but similar patterns occurring elsewhere over the deep ocean waters, though these patterns had never been observed with the clarity or scale of those near Cape Town. On the fringes of the internet, wild conspiracy theories began to circulate, ranging from covert military exercises to alien interventions, showcasing the public's unease and fascination with these unexplained phenomena. Despite rigorous research efforts, a definitive explanation remained out of reach. The South African National Space Agency responded by launching additional monitoring satellites to capture more comprehensive data in hopes of encountering such an event again. Local officials urged caution among the public and maritime operators, prompting the South African Department of Environmental Affairs to implement temporary safety measures for ships navigating off Cape Town's coast. These measures included heightened surveillance and the immediate reporting of any anomalies. This strange occurrence first caught the world's attention through Ventus, a meteorological platform that detected an unusual pattern resembling a gigantic wave moving towards the shore and then vanishing just before what could have been a catastrophic landfall. This peculiar event quickly became a heated topic on Reddit, where a vibrant mix of enthusiasts and skeptics debated their theories, ranging from the scientifically plausible to the wildly speculative. Further investigations by the South African National Space Agency during a minor geomagnetic storm suggested that such distortions in the data might have contributed to the initial misinterpretations. Dr. Adrian Shabalala, an atmospheric scientist at the South African National Space Agency, highlighted that geomagnetic storms are known to temporarily disrupt Earth's magnetosphere, potentially affecting the accuracy of satellite data. In collaboration with the National Oceanography Center in Southampton, the South African National Space Agency explored the potential oceanic and atmospheric conditions that might lead to the spontaneous formation of such massive wave structures. Dr. Naomi Vermeulen, a renowned oceanographer at the center, theorized that the sudden release of methane hydrates from the ocean floor could have triggered these water column disturbances. Dr. Peter Johnson, a marine biologist at the University of Cape Town, expressed concerns about the effects on marine life, stressing the need for comprehensive environmental impact assessments. These waves' rapid formation and subsequent dissipation could create powerful underwater currents and pressure changes, potentially harmful to marine organisms. The European Marine Science Coordination Committee suggested that a combination of atmospheric pressure anomalies and abrupt oceanic temperature changes might also be responsible for these wave formations. Dr. Helen Crofts, a committee member, noted that closely monitoring these environmental factors could help forecast such incidents in the future. As the investigations progressed, the World Meteorological Organization offered crucial satellite imagery and data analysis support, emphasizing the value of international cooperation in sharing data to unravel such complex meteorological phenomena. In response to the growing public concern, the Cape Town City Council conducted informational sessions to educate the community about these natural phenomena, aiming to reduce fears and enhance preparedness for future similar events. These sessions, led by experts in meteorology, oceanography, and disaster management, highlighted the need for well-informed response strategies. The Incident Meteorological Coordination Center, under the World Meteorological Organization, also began developing a specialized alert system designed to provide early warnings for sudden atmospheric anomalies. Utilizing AI technology, this system would analyze satellite data in real time, potentially offering advanced warnings to affected regions. The international scientific community, invigorated by these events, has shown increased determination to understand and perhaps forecast such peculiar weather patterns. Dr. Emily Tan, Director of Global Weather Dynamics at MIT, mentioned that the Cape Town incident might significantly change our understanding of the interactions between oceanic and atmospheric systems. Dive into Antarctica's icy mysteries where secrets lie deep under the snow. The dark secrets of ancient civilizations beneath the frost. In Antarctica's stark, frozen landscape, stories of hidden operations and secretive undertakings often sound more like elements from a spy novel than actual scientific efforts. Numerous whistleblower accounts suggest that this remote wilderness is not merely a desolate space of historical silence, but rather a covert battleground where hidden factions race to uncover and control mysterious assets and technologies speculated to be left by either ancient civilizations or, possibly, extraterrestrial entities. Among these whistleblowers is Linda Moulton Howe, an investigative journalist renowned for her work on UFO phenomena. Through her extensive interviews with military figures, researchers, and government operatives, she uncovers a web of secrecy supposedly enveloping the continent. These discussions reveal a landscape pocked with undisclosed underground facilities, where cutting-edge weapon testing and unsettling human trials occur away from the world's prying eyes, buried under a thick layer of ice. Linda Moulton Howe reports that these clandestine bases boast extensive subterranean levels, some delving several hundred feet beneath the ice crust, where a variety of operations take place. From the development of high-energy weaponry to human isolation experiments, these activities challenge the ethical boundaries of both technological advancement and scientific inquiry. She claims these ventures not only aim to push forward human knowledge and military prowess, but also involve illicit multinational coalitions that operate under the strict veil of secrecy provided by the Antarctic expanse. The existence of such operations would pose serious questions about the breach of the Antarctic Treaty System, which commits the landmass to peace and scientific endeavors. Despite this treaty, the continued military presence and ongoing construction hint at a far more turbulent set of activities, potentially setting the stage for international conflict. Further stirring intrigue, engineers reportedly have uncovered structures resembling pyramids, similar to those in Egypt, but composed of a mysterious, crystal-clear material that seems indestructible. These structures' purposes remain unknown across the hidden valleys beneath the ice, yet their implications are profound, suggesting a significant rewriting of human history or confirming suspicions of ancient alien interactions. Linda Moulton Howe paints chilling scenarios where teams in hazardous material suits unearth artifacts that defy logical historical placement, supporting the notion of either a non-human origin for these items or a vastly more advanced ancient human technology. One technician, preferring anonymity, described a particular zone deep within Antarctica where conventional GPS signals fail and electronics malfunction, nicknamed the Dead Zone. Rumors claim this area contains an ancient extraterrestrial beacon, though no verified governmental or credible private entity has confirmed these assertions. Mainstream scientists and respected academics typically dismiss such sensational claims, arguing the severe Antarctic conditions naturally inhibit extensive exploration, thus preserving the continent's mysteries. They caution against the fanciful tales of hidden bases and alien technology, attributing them to overactive imaginations or conspiracy theorists rather than evidence-based science. Critics of Linda Moulton Howe urge rational discourse and stringent adherence to the Antarctic Treaty. They advocate transparency in all research activities to ensure that no significant findings are hidden from global scrutiny. The geopolitical stakes in Antarctica are underscored by its untapped mineral wealth, including vast reserves of coal, iron, and potential oil fields, locked away by international accords but enormously valuable. This wealth makes the continent a key piece in global resource politics, where scientific discovery walks hand in hand with environmental conservation efforts. Calls for stricter protocols to govern these exploration missions emerge, stressing the need for operations to be openly shared and environmentally non-disruptive. The prospect of damaging one of Earth's last frontiers with invasive techniques and heavy machinery looms large, drawing fierce criticism from environmentalists and some geopolitical observers. Linda Moulton Howe's accounts also tell of extensive underground complexes housing advanced labs where controversial experiments blur ethical lines. Descriptions of deep-reaching elevators and secretive meetings between scientists and military officials suggest a significant exploitation of discovered organisms and technologies, potentially offering monumental medical and technological breakthroughs. These tales include relics predating known civilizations, hinting at a once thriving society possessing sophisticated technologies. Some whistleblowers even suggest these technologies were not of human origin, adding layers of mystery to the already enigmatic Antarctic narrative. Amidst these controversial discussions, the security surrounding these secretive Antarctic endeavors is described as extraordinarily tight, with elite guards, heartbeat-detecting surveillance systems, deep-buried motion sensors, and camouflage drones reportedly in use to prevent any leaks or unauthorized disclosures. Despite the captivating nature of these tales, they are met with significant skepticism. Scientists and researchers more often frequent the harsh and inaccessible Antarctic terrain than it is by spies or alien hunters. The conditions there make it one of the least explored but most observed places on Earth, particularly with regard to environmental changes and adherence to international treaties. The continuous flow of whistleblower testimonies feeds the narrative of a significant geopolitical and scientific chess game being played on the icy continent. These accounts raise the curtain on a potentially vast stage of undisclosed activities, possibly involving substantial mineral resources that remain untapped due to the stringent Antarctic Treaty. Uncover more hidden secrets beneath Antarctica's icy surface, where the past meets the present. Undercover operations and mysterious pyramids in Antarctica. Among the voices championing these assertions is Linda Moulton Howe, an investigative journalist renowned for her inquiries into UFO phenomena. Her extensive interviews with a diverse array of personnel, from military officials to scientists, reveal a complex tapestry of secrecy supposedly cloaking this icy continent. According to her findings, Antarctica is pocked with undisclosed underground installations, where both futuristic weaponry is tested and unnerving human experiments are conducted, all shielded from public scrutiny by the continent's formidable ice layers. Linda Moulton Howe's investigative report suggests these subterranean bases sprawl extensive distances beneath the ice, some burrowing hundreds of feet down, where experimental military and scientific activities push the boundaries of current technological and ethical norms. She asserts that these secretive endeavors are not solely aimed at pioneering advancements in science and defense, but also involve illicit international collaborations that operate under a rigorous veil of secrecy, possibly breaching sovereign treaties. The implications of such covert activities, if proven true, would be profound, raising significant concerns about violations of the Antarctic Treaty System. This treaty designates the continent as a conservation area dedicated to peaceful scientific exploration. Yet the alleged presence of military detachments and the ongoing construction of facilities suggest otherwise, potentially setting the stage for geopolitical discord among the treaty nations. Moreover, Linda Moulton Howe has conversed with engineers who claim the installation of advanced radar systems capable of penetrating deep into the ice, unearthing structures that mirror the pyramids found in Egypt. Except these are crafted from a bizarre, crystal-clear material that seems virtually indestructible. These pyramidal forms are reportedly scattered beneath the ice sheet, their true purpose as mysterious as their implications, which could be revolutionary. Her accounts describe chilling scenes of scientists in protective suits, excavating ancient sites that have remained untouched for eons, uncovering peculiar artifacts whose designs and materials suggest origins not just foreign to modern humanity, but possibly from outside this world. These findings, she argues, could substantiate theories of ancient alien visitations or a previously advanced human civilization. An unnamed technician provided details of a specific area deep within Antarctica, christened the Dead Zone, where GPS signals vanish and electronic devices falter. Rumors suggest this zone might contain an alien beacon, claims that, while unverified, ignite the imagination and stoke the fires of conspiracy theories. Despite these sensational stories, the mainstream scientific community remains skeptical, typically dismissing such claims as fanciful or outright fabrications. The harsh, unforgiving Antarctic conditions, which severely limit unauthorized travel and ensure that any significant activity is monitored, make covert operations highly conspicuous and challenging to conceal. Critics of Linda Moulton Howe urge caution, suggesting that the enigmatic allure of Antarctica might be clouding rational judgment. They advocate for increased transparency and rigorous adherence to the Antarctic Treaty, ensuring that all activities, particularly those of a significant nature, are conducted openly and without subterfuge. The international community watches closely, with environmentalists and geopolitical analysts particularly concerned about any activity that might shift the delicate status quo in Antarctica. The continent's vast, untapped mineral resources, including coal, iron, and potentially oil, are of great interest not just for their economic value, but also for the environmental impact their extraction could have. This anomaly, representing a significant dip in the Earth's magnetic shield over the South Atlantic Ocean, has drawn intense scrutiny from NASA and various international space agencies that monitor potential threats to satellites and other spacecraft. The anomaly's influence on satellite functionality due to intensified cosmic and solar radiation highlights Earth's geomagnetic field's dynamic and somewhat unpredictable nature. Recent expansions in the breadth and intensity of the South Atlantic anomaly have puzzled scientists and led to increased concerns regarding the future efficacy of Earth's magnetic field as a protective barrier against harmful extraterrestrial radiation. This growing anomaly signifies potentially drastic changes in the geomagnetic conditions that could have far-reaching effects on satellite operations and communication security. The anomaly acts like a breach in Earth's magnetic armor, where the inner Van Allen radiation belt comes dangerously close to the planet's surface, increasing the flux of energetic particles in this region. This escalation poses severe risks for satellites traversing the area, as the heightened radiation can lead to operational disruptions and failures, necessitating extensive and robust protective measures for both hardware and operational protocols. Researchers are actively studying this phenomenon to understand its causes and implications fully. The prevailing theory suggests that shifts in the Earth's core, possibly related to the flow of molten iron, influence the magnetic field's intensity and stability. This research is critical as it helps prepare better protective strategies for satellites and enhances our understanding of Earth's geodynamic processes. As the scientific community delves deeper into the mechanics of the South Atlantic anomaly, the need for advanced monitoring systems and international cooperation becomes increasingly apparent. By pooling resources and data, researchers hope to develop predictive models that can forecast changes in the magnetic field and mitigate risks associated with this anomaly. The South Atlantic anomaly underscores the complexities and vulnerabilities of Earth's geomagnetic shield and serves as a reminder of the planet's dynamic nature. It challenges scientists to continuously adapt and innovate in their methods and technologies to safeguard critical satellite infrastructure and, by extension, the vast array of systems that depend on stable and reliable space-based communications. This anomaly affects technological systems and could have broader implications for climate and weather patterns, as changes in the Earth's magnetic field might influence atmospheric conditions. The ongoing study of this anomaly is crucial for future preparedness in facing geomagnetic changes that could impact a wide range of human activities and natural processes. Enter the South Atlantic anomaly, where increased radiation puts satellites at risk and puzzles scientists. Mysteries of the South Atlantic anomaly. When spacecraft and satellites pass through the South Atlantic anomaly, they are bombarded with much higher levels of radiation than usual, significantly increasing the risk of malfunctions or serious damage to their electronic systems. This challenging situation forces space agencies and satellite operators to perform extremely careful and precise maneuvers to reduce these risks. The anomaly's impact goes beyond just immediate operational problems. It also questions the long-term reliability and effectiveness of satellites that pass through this region, which is notorious for its intense radiation. The complexity and unpredictable nature of the South Atlantic anomaly require aerospace organizations to monitor and adapt their operational strategies continuously. These measures are crucial to protect their assets and ensure the success of missions within this challenging space environment. The primary cause of the expansion of the South Atlantic anomaly is still widely debated by scientists. A popular theory suggests that this anomaly may be due to changes in the dynamic actions happening in the Earth's outer core, involving molten iron and nickel, which are vital for creating Earth's magnetic field. The movement of these molten substances is crucial to maintaining the magnetic field. Any change in this movement can greatly impact the field's intensity and stability. This intricate connection between the core's dynamics and the magnetic field makes the South Atlantic anomaly a complex phenomenon, highlighting the critical need for more in-depth research and a better understanding to fully determine its origins and consequences. Various theories have been proposed about what influences the South Atlantic anomaly. One theory suggests that the anomaly may be caused by interactions between Earth's magnetic field and those from outer space, like the Sun or other stars. These interactions may disturb Earth's geomagnetic field, possibly causing the variations in intensity seen in places such as the South Atlantic anomaly. Over time, the interaction between these different magnetic fields adds to the dynamic and continuously changing nature of geomagnetic phenomena. Additionally, some geophysicists believe there might be a connection between the South Atlantic anomaly and certain geological activities in Earth's crust, including the movement of tectonic plates or the presence of specific mineral formations. These geological events might occasionally disrupt the magnetic field, contributing to the growth and development of the South Atlantic anomaly. Considering these challenges, space agencies must develop more robust technologies that can endure the extreme conditions within the anomaly. Deploying satellites with better shielding materials and more sophisticated electronic components is essential to mitigate the harmful effects of increased radiation. Continuous worldwide monitoring of the anomaly, especially by satellites like the Swarm constellation that focuses on studying Earth's magnetic field, is invaluable. This monitoring helps improve our understanding of these complex magnetic interactions. Continuous research into the South Atlantic anomaly is vitally important not only for ensuring satellite safety and enhancing operational protocols, but also for offering insights into the large-scale processes that control Earth's magnetic field. This research is key in predicting changes in the geomagnetic field that could impact space-based technology and Earth's overall climate and electrical systems. Further exploration into the mechanics of the anomaly and its potential causes is expected to lead to the development of tools that could predict geomagnetic storms and other disruptions more accurately. This capability would not only protect critical satellite operations, but also improve readiness for solar events that could severely affect Earth's power and communication infrastructures. Do you think the South Atlantic anomaly poses a greater threat than we realize? Comment your thoughts below and subscribe for more insights and discussions.